up? It's Cinema Shogun here, and for those of you all who do not know this by now, me and the true crime community, we do not mesh well together at all. I know some of you are watching this probably thinking, well, you're part of the true crime community, Cinema Shogun. Listen, I do not consider myself as part of the true crime community. I do not consider myself a true crime YouTuber. If you've been subbed to my channel, then you already know that we are bound to talk about anything over here, from aliens, World War III, government cover-ups, celebrity gossip, you name it. We talk about a little bit of everything, but when a true crime story or case catches my interest, I'll cover it on my channel, or when I run across a case or a story that I feel like needs more attention, I try to use my platform to raise awareness about that story. Kind of like the story I've been covering over the past few days, the Rudy Ferrier story. When I first started covering this story, all we knew was supposedly this boy had been found that was missing for 8 years. I made a video stating that I thought something was weird about the case. I wake up the next day and all hell broke loose. I started doing my, research and things, and we uncovered a lot of crazy stuff in that case. If you have not been following it, you may want to check out some of my videos because it's one of the craziest stories I've ever seen. But anyways, I always try to maintain a healthy distance from the true crime community. Do not get me wrong. There are a lot of people in the true crime community that I think are good people. There are plenty of true crime YouTubers that I think are cool people, some of which have been really kind to me. So do not misinterpret my words. I know some of you will. There's always that bunch. But I'm not here to take a crap on the true crime community as a whole. I'm not here to say that everyone is bad. But the true crime community is a double-edged sword. On one hand, you will find some of the most compassionate, kind-hearted people in the world. On the other hand, you will find some of the most down-low, vile, disgusting human beings that the world has to offer, kind of like Zav Girl, who recently got exposed for selling pictures of dead kids on Patreon. And we will get into more of that in just a moment, because that's the point that I really want to get to in this video. But for some reason, I always found that a lot of these prominent people in the true crime community, they have this underlying hidden animosity towards me. And it's weird because I never interacted with these people a day in my life. I honestly go out of my way to kind of stay to myself. You do not see me appearing on other people's channels. You don't see me popping up on everyone's live streams, and I do not have people appearing on my channel. You see, I feel like a lot of YouTube friendships and relationships, they're parasitic. Is that a word, parasitic? I find that a lot of people on YouTube, it's like they're parasites. They don't really care about you. They don't really care about forming a friendship or a bond. They view you as an opportunity. Like, oh, let me go on your channel because then I'll get more subs or I'll get more exposure. So a lot of these YouTube interactions you see, they're not genuine. Some are. Some form lifelong friendships on YouTube, and there's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of the collaborations you see on YouTube, it's strictly business. And I'm not someone that's interested in growing my channel off the backs of other creators. And that's what the majority of YouTubers do. The majority of YouTubers, the reason you see them here and there, and they're talking to this person and that person, it's because they view those chances as opportunities to grow their own channel. I'm not interested in doing that. I want to grow my own channel on my own. I want to be able to look at everything I've accomplished on YouTube knowing that I did that myself. I didn't have to go kiss someone else's ass on their live stream to get these subs. So I don't really associate with too many people. But for some reason, a lot of these prominent figures in the true crime community, they have this animosity towards me that I don't really understand. Like this woman, Rose or whatever her name is on Twitter, I never talked to her a day in my life. I don't know this woman. She's made a sarcastic comment towards me in the past. But the other day, someone who doesn't even follow me that I don't even know, they shared a link to one of my videos on her Twitter post. And this lady had a conniption fit. She had a hissy fit. Basically, getting on the cases of some of her followers, getting mad, and blocked me. And I'm just sitting here like, I didn't share the link. I don't even know you. What is your issue? But you see, ladies and gentlemen, I know what the issue is. I know exactly what the issue is that these people have with me. You see, there's two things. For one, for those of you all who saw my video last night about Zav Girl, when I make videos like this, it scares a lot of these prominent people in the true crime community because they know that I'm bound to make a video about them. They know that I'm not afraid to call out some nonsense when I see it, and they feel as if they may be next on the chopping block, even though I don't even know who these people are half the time. So they see someone like me, and in many ways, it intimidates them, not like physically, like a physical presence intimidating them, but it intimidates them because they know that they're not really in this community for the right reasons. You see, a lot of people in the true crime community, they don't really care about victims and all of that stuff. They care about themselves. They care about their own victimhood status and narrative. They don't go into these cases to raise awareness about these cases or to get to the bottom of what happened in these cases. They go to promote their own victimhood status. They live in this, it's really hard for me to explain, but they're like professional victims who everything about them is all wrapped up in victimhood. No personality, nothing to offer the world. They're just a professional victim. And they like to entertain themselves by looking at other victims and feeling bad for themselves. Not really feeling bad for what happened to these people, but feeling bad for themselves. They look at these true crime cases as if it's a way to boost their own victimhood narrative. You see? So a lot of these people that you think, oh, this is a person that really wants to get to the bottom of this case. No, they just want you to feel sorry for them for covering the case and weird stuff like that. It's really weird, but the true crime community is filled with professional victims who have made it their whole personality to just be a victim. They've made it their whole personality to just be emotional over other victims. And then on the other hand, more importantly is this. Now, if you know me, you know that I am a very open-minded person. I am not a conservative. I am not a liberal. I'm just a guy trying to get to the bottom of the truth in whatever story I cover. I have one thing. If you're an adult and you want to live your life and do whatever you want to do, I do not judge. I am a live and let live person. I have one rule, one line that I don't like people to cross. And that simply is leave kids alone. That's all I ask. Leave kids alone. Leave kids out of whatever nonsense you got going on. Period. I'm really about protecting the kids. That's why I took an interest in covering true crime in the first place, because I'm interested in protecting kids. I'm interested in protecting young adults as well. But unlike most of the true crime community, I'm not interested in just advocating or talking about protecting kids once they've been murdered or kidnapped or are missing. I'm interested in advocating and protecting kids while they're still alive. I'm interested in preventing a lot of the heinous crimes that we see take place on a daily basis that a lot of us sit on YouTube and have to cover. I'm interested in making sure that we don't get to that point where we have to sit here and constantly cover cases about kids who have had horrible things done to them sexually, physically, and you name it. Okay? And you see right now in modern day society, there is this push to expose innocent kids to a lot of stuff that they do not need to be exposed to. There is a push to overly sexualize kids at a young age. So when I say I'm into protecting kids, I don't mean like, oh, I'm going to talk about a true crime case once a kid gets assaulted and killed. No, I mean, I'm going to talk about this now while kids are being exposed to weird stuff in school by their teachers, while kids are being exposed to naked adults running around the street naked in the middle of parades, okay? I'm all about protecting the kids. And if you're really about protecting the kids, you're going to be calling out all of these groomers and these weirdos who are constantly have made it their mission to do nothing but expose kids to all of this wild sexual stuff at a young age. And you see, I got into the true crime community. I started covering true crime because I thought that we all were at least on the same page about that. Let's protect kids. Let's make sure that these predators don't prey on kids out in public. But no, that's not the case. The reality is, most of the true crime community, they like to sit on here and pretend they care about kids and they advocate for kids once they're already dead while collecting super chats on their 8-hour live streams. The reality is they support a lot of this overly sexual stuff that these kids are being exposed to. They support that stuff. They were never here to be about victims. They were never here to protect kids. The exact opposite. The exact opposite. So a lot of the underlying animosity that the true crime community has towards me is because I am outspoken about protecting kids on social media. And they are not. They like to sit on here and act like they care about kids once the kids are already dead so they could get sympathy from their viewers for covering the story. And they could sit there and, promote their own victimhood status, but they don't care about kids. Because if you really care about kids, then you care about what is happening to kids right now in our society, where it has become normalized to do horrible things to kids, to expose kids to horrible things, to you name it. We are normalizing chomos and pedos and weird stuff like that right now in our society. And if you're part of the true crime community that claims to be an advocate for victims, you claim that you care about victims. If you're ignoring all of this weird, wild stuff that's going on, then you don't care about victims at all. You like talking about these true crime cases and sensationalizing all of this nonsense. If you really cared about kids, you would be open and vocal about what's happening to kids right here in our country and all around the world right now. But these people are not. In fact, not only are they scared to death to speak out about what's happening to kids because they're afraid they may offend someone or they may lose subs. Not only that, but they support this stuff. Now, on Twitter a while back, I put it out there that a lot of these true crime community people, a lot of these prominent figures in the true crime community, that they don't care about kids. They support random creepy adults sexualizing their kids. They support having teachers talk to kids about weird stuff in the classroom. They support having kids reading porn magazines at the local library. This is the type of stuff that they support. They support it. And that's why they have a problem with me. But on Twitter, not too long ago, I tried to expose this. I tried to tell people. And a lot of people took it the wrong way. A lot of people were like, no, that's crazy. Yeah, no. You know how these people are. They try to deny what's right in their face. We got grown men out here shaking their balls, butt naked in front of little kids, on the street. in the middle of parades and shows and story hours, and everyone's, oh, this is stunning and brave, yeah. And I'm trying to tell people, if you're really out here pretending to care and to be an advocate for kids who have had horrible things done to them, and you're not calling this stuff out, then you're part of the problem. But like I was saying, I keep getting off track. I posted on Twitter that this is the deal. That a lot of these true crime people, they support the sexualization of kids. They support all of this weird stuff that's going on right now. And a lot of people are like, no, you're crazy for thinking that. Cinema Shogun, you've taken it too far. You've taken it too far. And I'm like, no, I know exactly what I'm talking about. And I feel like a lot of the people, not a lot, some people in the true crime community, I feel like they are perverts and weirdos that kind of get off on seeing the horrible things that are done to kids. And now, with this recent situation that has come up with Zav Girl, I think this is the proof that a lot of you all may need that this is going on within the true crime community. For those of you all who don't know, I made a video about it last night. You can go check it out. I had to sleep on it. Because if I said everything I wanted to say last night, you wouldn't be watching this video right now. I would have been kicked off of YouTube, okay? But there were some things that I found out last night that it really got my blood boiling. And there were details that I left out of the video that I made about Zav Girl yesterday. There were details that I purposely left out because I felt myself getting so worked up that I knew that I would say something that would get me kicked off the platform. So I figured, you know what? I'm going to sit down, I'm going to cool off, and I'm going to address this tomorrow. So let's address this. Now, I was saying that a lot of these people in the true crime community, a lot of these prominent figures like Rose and others, they not only don't really care about these kids and what happens to these kids, they support people doing horrible things to kids while they're still alive. You know what I mean? Don't sit here and pretend that you care about a kid who's had horrible sexual things done to them and it's been, and stuff. I can't really go into detail on YouTube, but don't sit here and pretend you care about that and then sit here and openly support grown men in dresses shaking their balls and exposing themselves in front of kids, because it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. But anyway, there's a lot of perverts out there. And Zav Girl has opened the door for a lot of them, and she's a disgusting human being within herself. But, and I feel it. I feel it coming on. I'm going to try to be polite here, ladies and gentlemen. As you all know, for those of you all who do not, there was a recent case about an 11-year-old boy who was brutally murdered by his stepmother, I believe. I didn't follow this case. I didn't cover this case. But it's the case of Gannon Stauch. And if I'm pronouncing that last name wrong, I sincerely apologize. But I never covered this case. I don't know much about the case. But this little kid was, I guess, brutally murdered by his stepmother. Zav Girl took it upon herself to charge people money to come and look at the autopsy photos of this child. Okay? She's literally charging people online to look at photos of a dead kid who was brutally murdered. But it gets worse than that. I know you're probably thinking, well, how can it get worse than that? It gets worse than that. Okay? Oh, man. Let me go ahead and cut the video and I'll be right back. Okay. I got it together. I am trying to bite my tongue here as hard as possible. I have had to stop this video half a dozen times. Because I'm telling you, I am the type of person that will go the fuck off. I promise you I will. You have not seen anything yet. I am telling you, I don't care how nice of a guy you think I am a nice guy. but I will fucking snap in a heartbeat when it comes to stuff like this. But anyways, not only did this disgusting creature, Zav Girl, literally sell pictures of a dead kid online, charging people, hey, come pay me, join my Patreon so you can see pictures of this dead kid. I guess she also did a video or a little live stream where she zooms in on all of the parts of Gannon's body, this 11-year-old boy's body. She zooms in on his genitals. Zav Girl zoomed in on this dead kid's genitals. And then goes so far as with her with her stupid, confused looking face. What is this? What is this? What are these strings? All this bitch does is sit here and act confused 24/7. And then she starts pointing out, what are these strings? They were maggots. This woman is sitting online selling pictures of a dead kid, selling a live stream. Hey, pay to watch my video where I zoom in on a dead kid's genitals and I sit here and act confused while I show you the maggots that are crawling through this dead kid's body. That is what Zav Girl did. And I am telling you right now, I do not know where in the hell all of these people come from in the true crime community, but where I'm from, this is something that will get you chin checked on sight. If someone did something like this that lives around me, it would be on sight. Okay? That's how we operate where I'm from. You do some gross stuff like this and you get seen out of the grocery store, the gas station, the damn Chuck E. Cheese, wherever the hell your dry ass lips take you, you would get chin checked on sight. On sight. This lady is sitting here. Oh, look, let me zoom in on this kid's. Oh, I don't even want to say it. But, anyways, she is literally sitting here zooming on this kid's genitals, talking about the maggots that are crawling through this kid's dead body. And you want to know the type of people who are watching? You want to know the type of comments these people are making? It takes a real sick, freaking weirdo to want to pay to see pictures of a dead kid. You want to know the comments they were making? I want you to see this. And this is why I told you I just had to wait. I said I had to sleep. After seeing this comment, I had to sleep on it. Because if I made this video yesterday, my channel would no longer exist. And I promise you, it is taking all of the strength that I have in my body to try to just calmly run this information across you. And forgive me, I am sorry. Usually I am more put together. Usually, I'm more, I don't know. I know that I'm kind of all over the place in this video because this literally has me distraught. This literally has me enraged to the point that I don't even want to talk about it anymore. And when I say I don't want to talk about it, it means I'll just leave that to your imagination. Anyway, this is a comment that someone left. His pee-pee looks like marshmallow. Ha 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 ha. His pee-pee looks like a marshmallow. Ha 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 ha. So Zav Girl is sitting online with whatever freaking idiot decided to give this woman $3. I honestly, if you watch Zav Girl's content, who in their right mind would be like, you know what? I want more of this. I know I got 8 hours straight of her looking confused at the camera while doing and saying absolutely nothing of value. But you know what? I need more. I need more of these confused faces. But Zav Girl and her little minions are on Patreon making fun of a dead kid's penis. Look at his pee-pee. It looks like a marshmallow. Now this takes me all back around full circle to what I was talking about a moment ago. People thought it was outlandish when I was telling you all that a lot of these people in the true crime community, they're perverts, they're weirdos, they're groomers, they don't care about kids. In fact, they support people who victimize kids. If you support a lot of that weird stuff that's going on in our modern day society, then you are supporting people who victimize kids. You are helping and aiding predators who want to prey on kids. You are making it easier for these chomos, these pedos, to prey on kids. Period. And a lot of the true crime community hates me because I call that shit out. But right here, what do you think is happening? Who do you think would pay to look at pictures of a dead kid? Freaking weirdos, perverts, chomos, sitting on here. Oh my God, look at it. Look at this dead kid's pee-pee. It's like a marshmallow. Whoa, whoa. That's the type of person Zav Girl is. That's the type of company Zav Girl keeps. And like I said, this goes to show that you maybe thought I was crazy when I told you about these people. I wasn't crazy. I know exactly what the hell I'd be talking about. I do not come on YouTube or any other form of social media just to run my mouth for no reason. I do not talk out the side of my neck. When I say something, it's because I mean it and because most likely I have evidence to back it up, or I just know what's up. And I've known what's up with a lot of these true crime people for a long time. These people pretend to care about victims. They do not care about victims. These people do not care about kids. In fact, they support all of the horrible things that are happening to kids. They are literally enabling a lot of these perverts who are preying on kids. And what do you think is going to happen now? Photos of this dead kid's genitals are now floating all around the internet. Let that sink in. A family had to deal with their child being brutally murdered. I've dealt with a lot of stuff in my life. I've dealt with a lot of loss. I've dealt with a lot of loss. I've never dealt with someone or something like that. I don't know what it feels like to have a kid brutally murdered. But not only does this family have to deal with this now, they're already dealing with the fact that their kid was, or their kid or their nephew or whoever was taken from them. Their family member, their young family member was taken from them in a brutal fashion, but now pictures of his genitals are floating around online so weirdos can jerk off to it and make fun of them. All because of Zav Girl's dry, parched ass face. And then people wonder why. Why don't you associate with the true crime community? Why don't you do this? This is why. This is fucking why. And then I saw some people online that had the audacity to say, well, she did it for educational purposes. Educational purposes? What? What the hell do you need to be educated on about a dead kid's body and his genitals? You got motherfuckers that ain't even graduated high school talking about, we needed to see Gannon's photos of him dead. You know, we needed to see the autopsy photos for educational purposes. What? Are you serious? Like, who do you think you are? You're a freaking 60-year-old cat lady. You're a 45-year-old truck driver. You're an 18-year-old burger flipper at McDonald's. You are a 50-year-old retail worker at JCPenney's. I'm a 30-year-old YouTuber. None of us need to see photos of a dead naked child for educational purposes. This is not Grey's Anatomy. And to make matters even worse, the case is over. The case is over. It's not like this is happening in the middle of an ongoing case. The case is over. There's no need. This offers nothing to the case. It offers nothing to anyone. other than a few minutes of weird entertainment for sick fucks that want to look at this stuff. And it offers Zav Girl a little bit of money because she has, I don't even know. I don't even know how someone would even stoop to this level. How much money did she make? $100? A couple of $100? That's worth it to you? Like, what in the hell is wrong with people? And then I see someone else say, well, some people are interested in things like this. Listen, if you're interested in looking at dead naked kids online, you maybe need to go ahead and check yourself into a facility. I'm not here to entertain that nonsense. Well, some people like things like this. You know, everyone has different interests. Listen, we all have different interests. I understand that. There's nothing wrong with having hobbies and things that fascinate you. But if the bodies of dead naked children fascinate you, then you need to seek help. And by help, I mean you might as well throw yourself in a wood chipper, for all I care. But honestly, guys, I think that I should just go ahead and end this video because it's already been rough. I don't even know if I'm going to upload it because this has been all over the place, and I know that. But at the same time, you have to understand, you know, how I feel about this situation. It's not something that's easy for me to talk about because I'm really pissed off about this situation. Also, we're on YouTube, and I can't express myself in the way that I want to about this on YouTube. I think you all know how disgusting this is. I'm sure a lot of you all feel how I feel about this. But if I do upload this and you are watching this right now, just let this be an example for you. And in the future, when you hear me calling out the true crime community or saying that the true crime community is like this or I don't like this, then understand why. Because the moral of the story is this. A lot of these people sit online all day. They tweet out all day. They pump out videos, they pump out live streams, and they try to convince the world that they are here to be a voice for the voiceless. They try to convince the world that they are a voice for kids who are victims of horrible things, when in reality, they support the horrible things that are done to these kids. In reality, they are very supportive of a lot of the stuff that you are seeing happen in modern day society. They are supportive for these grown adults that have these weird kinks and fetishes and stuff. They support them coming after kids, and they hate when people call it out. So when you see people in the true crime community that don't like Cinema Shogun, just know that's why. They don't like me because I actually want to protect kids. And when I say I want to protect kids, I don't mean I want to make videos about kids once they get murdered or worse. And you say, what's worse? There's worse. You know, kids are getting horrible things done to them and then murdered. I don't want to just sit here and make videos about that. I want to prevent things like that from happening. And right now, there's a trend in our society that is normalizing and enabling abusive behavior towards kids. And I am fully against that. I'm not just going to sit here and make videos about kids once they're dead. I'm going to speak out about things that these weirdos are doing to kids while they're still alive, okay? And that's why me and the true crime community don't mesh. That's why these prominent figures in the true crime community don't like me. And that's why when you see my post and you kind of wonder and you get taken aback and you think I'm full of it, just go ahead and refer back to this video. Because Zav Girl is not the only one. Zav Girl's audience, they're not the only one. There's a lot of these sick freaks out here, and we're gonna smoke them out eventually. Give it time. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead, get back to the other case that I'm talking about. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Hit the thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and who knows who I'll have to call out next.